started playing guitar, I felt really stuck, especially when I tried to solo. It was kind of hard, and I thought that scales would save me. Sometimes it did, but you know what happened was I kept playing the same positions over and over again, and I was trying to understand what to do. And I'm playing this song because I went to a Tom Misch concert just a couple days ago in Brooklyn. It was a beautiful show, and I fell in love with this song, Movie. And I thought, you know, how cool would it be to kind of, you know, feel more free when we're soloing. And what I want to share with you guys is a huge thing that I understood, and this thing is called arpeggios. Basically playing the triad. So when we're playing a song and soloing, even these four awesome chords, you know, we can just rip on the, you know, E minor pentatonic. When we're soloing on a song, like this song, I can understand the center and use E minor pentatonic to solo. But the thing is, what Tom Misch is singing, and oftentimes when he's soloing and when great artists solo, they use the pentatonic. It's a beautiful scale, but they're also paying attention to the chords. So this is where arpeggios are just huge thing. So what we're gonna do is go over 7 levels of arpeggios, and actually specifically also try and figure out how to use those arpeggios on this song and solo, and utilizing this information to make awesome music and get you guys to feel more free. Alright, so what are arpeggios? Basically, if we have a chord like G major, we're actually playing the notes in the chord. So in this case, Sol, Si, Re, right? Like 1, 3, 5, literally that repeated. This is a triad. Now, it is again very helpful, because when I'm playing a song and I'm able to articulate the notes within the chord, those notes are basically kind of the center of tension and gravity. Let's hear a little bit of the triads and how they function on this song. Literally articulating D major. The point is here, and this is the big kind of like understanding that I had, is that when we're soloing, we are connecting scales, but the chord tones are really the core truth of how the chords sound. So again, if I have the chord F major 7, and I understand that this is the sound of the chord, I can move around it, and I can use pentatonic and use major scale. I can use all these things, but understanding and hearing that, that's what's up. Level 1. So here we're basically just checking out the sound of this thing and making sure that we know what we're doing, because when we know, we can hear, understand, and also manipulate. We can just change and add some notes, which is really awesome. So this is, right, this is G. Sol, Si, Re, Sol, Si, Re, Sol. So I'm just playing G major chord. Check it out really slowly. If you like this video and content, the best way to support is probably Patreon. There's a ton of information there. There's also a PDF for this specific video with the fingerings for 6th and 5th string arpeggios, actually from all the positions, so 5 positions, as well as E minor pentatonic in all positions. So if you find it helpful, check it out. Thank you. So yeah, this is the position for this G major triad here. Now you can say like, yeah, it's cool, but what else? Question. So I'm just getting into the world of amplifiers. I don't know much about it. I'm really curious, what do you use and why? And yeah, I just want to know a little bit more about this world and how you feel about amplifiers. Like, why do you use what you use? Level 2, where we add one note. We're gonna add the major 7. Now, for me, that sounds super lush and super beautiful. And also, you know, when we're playing that song, we can totally use that that color. So let's check it out really slowly together. And the notes are this F sharp, G, and that's the 7, and approach note basically to G if you will, and then 1, 3, 5, 7. Yeah, it's always 1, 3, 5, 7, but you can hear it also, that kind of leading tone, but it has that lashness. So beautiful. Cool, but you can say, well, yeah, it's awesome, but I don't want to stay only in this position on the guitar, and I'll be very happy that you think that way. Hey, so we are in the mercy of the YouTube gods, but what we can do is maybe hit the like button if you dig this, maybe drop a comment, and even share it to a friend that needs some arpeggios. Thank you. So now we're gonna do the same thing, but from the 5th string. So we're gonna do those 2 options, just the triad and then also the major 7. So level 3, here we're doing the C major from the 5th string, and I'm playing 2 octaves. Again, I'm thinking about the notes. I'm super aware. C, E, G, C, E, G, C. And I'm also, you know, singing this stuff, feeling it. Do, mi, sol, do, mi, sol, do, sol, mi, do, mi, do. And then the same thing with the major 7. Now when we're playing these chords, there are different fingers that are optional. I think one of the things that I kind of like doing is usually not slide. Sometimes I'll slide, sometimes I won't, it depends. But I'll make sure that if I want to, I can play this arpeggio with different fingerings. Because sometimes when you're playing things on the faster side, you want to have that ability to not use the same finger, because that could slow you down. Again, sometimes it's a nice sound to get that slide. So just be aware, that's kind of what I'm suggesting. Oh, check this out. This vinyl is actually available online. I'm really stoked about this project. There are 11 songs on this vinyl that I produced, wrote, and co-wrote with a lot of amazing artists. Yeah, it's just like a very exciting project for me, and I would love for you to check it out. Try to take it out and show you. And there's some cool art on side 1 and also side B. Yeah, check it out. Link is here. That's all fine and dandy. So we can play the G major, we can play G major 7, we can play C major and C major 7, and there are arpeggios in this area. But again, this is really limited to this area, which is fine. But when we look at a piano, it's like a lot of space, and also guitar. We have a lot of guitar. So one of the things that I love doing is playing 3 octaves arpeggios. So we're gonna take the G major shape and play 3 octaves. I think this is super helpful to see the fingerboard. And again, the reason that I want us to hear and see the fingerboard is because we wanna solo and see the options and what notes we can add and kind of like, you know, just be flexible with things. All right, so G major, 3 octaves. Cool thing with guitar is once we know shapes from 5th and 6th string, for example this G shape, and we associate it with this center, we can totally just move it. So if I would want to play C major, or if I want to play F major, right? This is the cool thing with guitar. Once we know the shapes, we can totally move them around and get the sounds, which makes things a little easier sometimes. Alright, so if you look at a song, we have G major 7, we have D over F sharp, we'll talk about it in a second, we have F major 7, all cool, and then we have this E minor sus, which is a cool sound, but all we played till now was major chords. So what I want to do right now is just play a minor chord. So we'll take C minor from the 5th string here. So we'll take C major actually and just adjust it. That's why I'm saying knowing the notes is helpful, because if we know 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, C, E, G, we can just, instead of E, we can do E flat. Oof, that's such a big difference. So I'm gonna play the same arpeggio, but with E flat. So 1, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5, 1. And that is C minor. So that's the worth knowing what we're doing. Let's do it again together slowly. Level 6. So in this song, we have G major 7 to D over F sharp. Now if I would want to play, you know, the arpeggios for this, I might start here with this G. But I kind of want to hear the F sharp in the bass. So we talked about, you know, playing an arpeggio from the 5th string, like C, just playing it on D, but we didn't talk about any inversions. So again, this is where understanding and hearing things and then finding fingerings really help. So the notes are only 3 notes, you know, D, F sharp, and A. This is D major. And what I'm doing is simply starting from the note F sharp and then going to this A, and then we're back in the position that we know. Which brings me to point number 7. All right, let's try to solo right now, and using a lot of the triads, I'll say sometimes what I'm doing, but again, I'm thinking about the center E minor pentatonic, but I'm really highlighting most of the triads of the chords. Let's do it. F sharp. 3rd of F to E minor. Again, F sharp. F major 7. G to D. So again, even this, right? So I played some pentatonic idea over G major, like something like G major pentatonic, but then I hit B to the D, which is really part of the triad. And the reason that I, again, kind of promote the idea of understanding the triad is because they're the centers and they're like very strong gravity points in the song and the